step forward.
Hello. This is another live episode of the Then and Now podcast. We are the Then and Now podcast. I don't know what the hell's wrong with that. My bad. Waking up. I have my lovely co-host with me, Mr. Lelouch V, Mr. Manhair himself, Mr. Keith Murphy.
At least a lovely and man hair. That's all right. We're off, and we're off.
I didn't mean to drop that governments, but I just did some federal shit just then.
I mean, you said Lelouch, like that was fine with me.
Yeah, but then I said the whole fucking first and last. I don't know. I'm getting real federal. I'm still waking up, y'all. I took a fat nap trying to recover from this long ass opening week of college. This episode we're gonna go. Fuck, I can't talk today. We're gonna go over our favorite and most hated stuff of 2021. This is kind of a late thing. We've been trying to plan out how we're gonna do this for a while.
Oh, this is 2021. I was just talking generally.
Oh, we're doing this this year.
Why not?
No, I'm talking about generally, like our favorite.
Oh shit, I didn't think about that one a lot more. I was meant to
this is gonna be a lot of fun. This is a good day. This is a good day, friends.
Oh god. Let's start with last year to give me time to build up to like in general because I'm really indecisive and my list for all time will change depending on my mood.
It's a lot.
Just to get out the way, because I know I watch more anime than you guys, so I have a more palette for that. We could do anime first, since I know me and E's winner is the same. I'm pretty sure for last year.
Well, so here's for last year.
I think so.
Well, so that's the day. If we're doing, we're doing anime first. We're doing anime first.
Yeah, anime first.
All right. So here we're doing anime. Now the thing about it is, are we going with the oldest rules, where it's of all time, or just last year, or the last couple of years? Because
what were you preparing for? Whatever you prepared for. I was preparing for last year.
You can do 2021. That's easier.
Okay, because nigga, this gonna be a longest episode if I gotta do all time.
It's gonna be a mess. Yeah, we're off to a great start already.
We got that's something I should have communicated better. Yeah, 2021. Let's make it easier.
Okay, all right.
But if it's 2021, I already know E's answer.
Yeah, if it's 2021, so if it's 2021, my answer is obviously it's from here to I'm sorry, it's 2-year eternity. 2-year eternity.
Nice to meet you, man. 2-year eternity. So we do have different ones. Oh, okay.
But here's the thing. I figured because I know when 2021 the season is a weird nebulous term, but also I know that 2-year eternity is officially considered part of 2021. But I also know your answer. I know what your answer already is. They wanted you to have it. So real quick, I'll say what 2-year eternity is for those who don't know. 2-year eternity is also based off of a was that a Japanese manga or was that
that's Japanese. It was a web novel. I don't know that eventually became
Yeah, it's not a Shonen Jump. It's a very different kind of book, but it starts off with the most dramatic, heart-wrenching stuff. And it keeps getting more and more heart-wrenching.
Is that Craig again?
It could be.
I don't know. Craig and Zell be just exchanging it. We got a new.
If you want your name to be displayed in your commented from Facebook, there is a link at the top of that post that you're looking at. You just go through there and it'll give you prompts so you can have your name shown on screen here. But if you don't do that, we won't be able to see who you are.
I'm gonna just call you Ghost nigga if I don't know who you are. I'm sorry.
Let's call you Ghost.
Respectfully.
Happy New Year, Facebook user, because I still can't see you. You gotta go through those prompts.
at least write your name. If you are the Facebook user, write your name in there too. Say this is such and such. Right. You know who you are. And I agree. So I'm glad he said 2-year eternity is like number 1. It's
like number 5.
It's heartfelt. Number 5. It's a heartfelt. Yeah, it is very much. It's a heartfelt kind of a drama. It's not as much. It does have some pretty cool action. Has amazing animation. Has very compelling characters, but it's very much more of a drama, well done drama. And during 2021, as in 2020, it was a rough year, man. There's some rough stuff happening. So having a series of anime that was dealing with that helped out.
Is that a Gucci Man anime or some shit? The fuck?
Nah, the Hoochie Coochie Man. That's Cartier Murray. What's good, buddy?
Man.
All right, but that's mine. That's mine. So, or Charlie, go on to y'all's.
Liv, how you doing?
So I'm gonna be quick because I didn't watch a lot of new anime last year. Most of the anime I watched was stuff I had on the list to get to that I didn't really get to.
Because there's so many shows that are older than you. You probably wouldn't even know they existed. You know,
like I attempted to start One Piece last year. Like
Oh my goof.
James, what's good, buddy?
Amazon. Oh, okay.
Oh god!
Sorry, Charles. Yeah, we'll let you go because we're gonna keep interrupting you the nonstop.
No, we got a million comments coming in.
Come in like,
oh
like
god,
fire. Yeah,
too fast.
Too fast.
Basically, yes, basically.
What's up, Austin? That's my roommate. Yeah. So my anime for last year, I'm just go with the second season of Attack on Titan. That did drop 20. Yeah, they dropped 20.
Yeah, that's 2021.
Yeah, that's the only new thing I dropped, and I really enjoyed that. At least as far as I saw it.
Yeah,
I like seeing where that story goes. So I had to repick that up.
Honestly, because if you know me, I've talked a lot of shit about Attack on Titan. That was my number 2 anime for last year. Attack on Titan, they had a good season, and this season is looking like it's building off of because it started off pretty well.
Right.
But so they split the
that's everybody.
They split the final season into like 2 parts, like kind of like Harry Potter. That's how they did it, basically.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. With the Deathly Hallows, how they split it up into part 1 and part 2.
Yeah,
they like a mid-season
Ultimate ranking. That's my number 3. That's my number 3. I fuck with Ultimate so hard. It's my.
I gotta watch that.
Ranking of Kings. Yeah.
Amazing. It is amazing.
But Dev, before Otis loses himself again in all these comments, so you were saying, were you going on about why you liked Titan?
No, it was just there was a lot of like, not like some shows would do like some shit they try to make it a surprise moment or like shock factor moments. There were some moments in that season that felt right, like it didn't feel forced.
Yeah,
so I really enjoyed that. I won't get into what happened because in case nobody actually saw it yet. I try to be nice.
The moments were earned.
Yeah,
right, the reveals, they weren't just like they weren't M. Night Shyamalan twists. They were reveals. I know what you mean.
Well, you just throwing shots already. It's only 7 minutes in. Jesus Christ. Otis, go. What shows, man? Anime.
My number 1 anime for last year is that second half of the Jujutsu Kaisen season. Like, I mean, it gave you a little bit of everything. It gave you the character development. It gave you personal connection to those characters, and it gave you just top tier action, bro. Like top tier action. Nothing looked better than that fight between Todo and Yuji versus the wood.
Yeah,
that was hard. I ain't gonna lie.
That was just on another level. Juju is amazing. I cannot wait for more. I know that movie just came out not too long ago, so I'm excited to see that. And we need more of that because, oh man.
That animation studio does good work, bro. Their animation for that show is ridiculous.
Phenomenal.
And for those who don't know, back in the day when Otis and I first started talking to each other a lot more, hanging out, was during the first season of Jiu-Jitsu. So our nicknames for each other was always like Yuji and Todo. I am the Todo, and he's the Yuji.
I thought you were Toto from like the
Wizard of Oz.
No, not Toto. Yeah,
that's what that whole thing that dynamic was.
Toto. Yeah,
I didn't question it. I was like, okay, these niggas weird.
No, I mean, I'm cool with that. He's a bomb ass dog. Yeah, but yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen's amazing. That's and from what I understand too, Shaman, our former director, talked about how this is like basically the first half of the arc of the manga, and they splitting it that way actually made the first season that much better as opposed to trying to rush too much into it. So,
right. So is that all we have for anime? You guys have any other honorable mentions?
There's always honorable mentions. You can go ahead.
Jobless Reincarnation.
I knew you say that.
It should definitely be mentioned because man, phenomenal show, great animation, and their seconds they put out 2 seasons in last year, I believe, and both halves are really well done. So gotta mention them. He already said Ranking of Kings, because that's the shit. Like, oh my god, 86 is also a really good show out there if you like I
heard about that.
86 is pretty darn good. It was a good year for anime. It was a good year.
Yeah, it was kind of bloated because what happened was also a lot of things that were supposed to come out in 2020 were kind of pushed back or were held off. So a lot of things came out in 2021. So it kind of was an embarrassment of riches in that sense. Yeah.
Right. So let's take a detour and move into the movies. Let's get into that. I know we've done a lot of movie reviews, so we kind of have a lot more fresh off our head. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out the way. This is the easiest decision for me. I'm gonna go ahead and rock with Malignant. I'm playing.
My God.
It's like,
For a whole second, I was like, how tired are you?
We just decided on making it just 2021. And he says, yep, 2016 movie. Like,
wow, that was malignant. That was, God.
Wait, when did Malignant come out last year? Wait,
no,
it
came out last year.
It actually did come out last year.
Oh, did you ever watch Malignant? Did you ever watch that, Otis?
No.
Good.
No.
Movie. Well, how you saying no? Like you didn't even see it.
I tried, nigga. for y'all, I tried, and I was like,
"You did try." Nope. That should have been the bet. We should have had it that if Matrix was bad, somebody has to watch Malignant on a loop for a day or something like that. That should have been the bet.
That could have been. I would have taken that. I would have sat and watched all of Malignant if I would have lost that bet. But I knew I wasn't losing.
I will say that movie was a bad movie, but it was a fun watch. I had fun watching that.
It was a fun watch.
But my actual movie of last year, my favorite one, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. It's gonna sound like it's not gonna be unanimous. It may be unanimous.
No, it won't be unanimous.
No Way Home. Anytime there's like a Marvel event, I feel like that movie was an event. Like that was a generational marker on the timeline. Like people will remember that movie drop and that movie build up for decades to come. For like again the build up from like a year, 2 years beforehand in the theater, people are cheering when they see a character. When something happens or somebody says something, the theater's going crazy, and that's damn near, at least across the United States, it probably was like that. I can't even, most likely across the world too, if I'm being honest with you. And I just can't beat that. Like there's probably better movies on a very not intellectual level, but when you break it down, he's about the critical level. Sure. On the critical lens, they're probably better movies, but that movie just meant a lot for nerd culture, I feel like, in general. So I can't top that as far as my top movie of the year.
But the thing about it too is that like one of the very, very few movies that came out in the theaters this past year that actually succeeded. Like it actually made money. Right.
Not just
other movies came out, lots of movies came out,
and it lived up to the hype.
Yeah, it lived up to the hype. It's actually really good. It actually made money. It was Otis. Otis
lived up to the hype. I don't think it lived up to the hype, but I think it was really good.
What could in your? Let me ask you this question, Otis, and you want to get a new hat. Have you ever seen anything that has lived up to the hype? Anything ever?
Infinity War. Infinity War lived up to the hype.
Okay.
What else would you have needed to see out of No Way Home for it to live up to the hype?
Like a threat. Like I needed to actually feel like the most. Like I said, we talked about it in our review, but the most tension in that entire movie was watching Spider-Man decide to not kill Green Goblin. Spoilers. I'm sorry, whoever didn't see it, whatever. But
it's been a while at this point.
Yeah. That was the most tension in the entire movie. I needed that level of threatening throughout the entire movie for it to feel like it lived up to the hype for me.
I see your point. It's maybe just because after we watched it, I looked at it as an origin story a lot more, and I wasn't looking for a threat more, so I was looking for the arc of Peter to become full circle and to finish the arc. Which I mean, this is probably like caping for the writers or whatever else, maybe trying not covering for mistakes, but I think in their minds the way they wrote this, they didn't want there to be like a threat per se. They wanted to showcase Peter as a person and like bring that full circle to prepare for the whatever else they're gonna do with them in the Sony stuff.
Yeah, it's more or less. I think it's more of a character study because this again we're not getting into the whole thing, another review, but it was more or less about a journey of Peter really dealing with himself much more so than him dealing with it. It's more of an internal struggle than it was an external struggle.
Versus with like Infinity War, that was like a climax of like a 10-year buildup of like a story. Like you developed all these characters. Now we're at this apex. We have to execute on what we've been building up forever with the end screens, with the shows, with the all the commercials and stuff like that, and the toys. We got a climax here. But I see your point though.
It was a climax, but it was a climax smaller scale for Spider-Man, for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, for him dealing with all the things he's gone over the trilogy. Because essentially, this is the end of that trilogy. But anyways, Otis, you can go next, man. What's your favorite flick of 2020?
Don't Look Up. It takes my top one for it. I'm a big fan of subplots, and this is clearly a direct metaphor to what's going on in the world now. And
like satire, you mean satires?
Satires. I said
subplot. Yeah,
satires. I'm a big fan of satires.
I hope that's not reminiscent of what's going on in the world today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely is.
Like it's almost like direct metaphor for the world.
It is.
Yeah,
I needed to be like
is.
I needed to be like 10% versus the 90 because I kind of want to. I want to see. That's I ain't gonna lie. This is a quick tangent, but it's the fucked up thing. I talked to my friend about. I'm like, our grandparents and great grandparents had a simple life. They worked, had their kids. Maybe they had to go through like Jim Crow and all the other shit. But as far as like on the
that's become our catchphrase of this show is Jim Crow. I don't know how it happened.
I don't know how we always get to Jim Crow, but we talked about it. But they were able to have their kids do whatever. Nigga, we got to worry about, at least you guys up into me, have worried about 9/11, all kinds of terrorist shit, a global pandemic, global warming being increasingly wild because last year fucking half the world was on fire. All the crazy shit. I'm like, bro, I just want to live let me like chill. Do I have to be? I don't want to be in the history books. I want to learn about some shit. I don't want to be there all the time being like, yeah, man, I remember that fucked up shit. I was there for that.
Right. But I think one thing too, Dev, no matter how you slice it, every generation has their problems in one form or another, whether it be, the domestic apartheid, or whether it be global warming, whether it be Jim Crow, whatever it is, we all have things we're going through, things we're dealing with. It's inevitable.
This show's at least based out though.
Like Vietnam.
Vietnam, we have wars.
Richard Nixon, just in general.
Holocaust. There's all kinds of things that are always happening. It's in each generation that comes afterwards will be like, oh, things are so much easier for the previous generation and whatnot. It's kind of, but it's.
I feel like this show was more spaced out though. Maybe not the World Wars because they were kind of like not a couple of years, but like 6 to 7-ish years apart in history.
But they also lasted with like 6-7 years in themselves too.
The first one was like,
if we're talking about America, that was like a boom for our economy though. Everybody was living there, like everybody's making so much fucking money. They got like 50 houses. Everybody's living it up over here.
How do we get from our favorite movie?
I don't know. You know how we do. You know how we operate. Don't question it. God damn it.
I was getting ready to say, it's like, wait a minute. This is
Don't Look Up was a really good movie.
Don't Look Up.
Jennifer Lawrence actually like didn't make me hate her here. Like she didn't pull a Katniss or a Mystique. So like, yeah, good job to you. Leo was Leo. Like he just did Leo.
He was kind of
actually no, he was
outside the box
completely different. Actually, I can't say like Leo was Leo. Leo shocked me here because I never thought that he would do this type of like a character. He's like a straight up
beta male
science nerd,
kind of a science nerd
of guy. Like and that I
just
didn't know he had that in his range, but he killed it. He did his thing.
But what's funny about it, I'll say real quick, he's still a science nerd, but they make a point to say, oh, sexy science nerd or DILF over and over again. And of course, he still hooks up with, spoiler alert, hooks up with Kate Blanchett. But it is, and also he does his patented Leo scream. He screams real loud like Leo always does at one time. So he still has his trademarks. If you're worried, oh my gosh, there's no guy that can have a Leo trademark. No, they're still in the movie. I promise you, they're still in the movie. But
Leo's comedic timing was great.
He was very funny.
Like when he turned, like we went off in the fucking news in the newsroom or whatever. He's like, "Can we stop fucking acting like this shit is not happening?" I was like, "That shit." I died. Yeah. Which I'm biased. I'm a Leo fan because Django. You already know so. But
he just likes white people saying the N-word. That's all it is.
Don't be me.
Go from Jim Crow to we're 2022.
You gonna bring back the dead mom thing again? You want to bring that back around?
No, Jesus, we're gonna get canceled twice. I mean, we're only 2 weeks into this year. Oh my lord! I'm gonna segue hard into my favorite movie of 2021.
You'll get some dirt on you for this, Ethan. We're just waiting on it.
The 2021 is the Suicide Squad. Because what it was is you gotta understand. We love championing. Don't Look Up. We love championing No Way Home. But those are movies didn't have a lot of baggage. The Suicide Squad. I'm not a biggest fan of the DC cinematic or movie universe as of late.
No one.
Yeah, they've had lots of. They've had a couple of okay movies, I guess, but for the most part, they've made more misses than they've had connections. And this movie landed really well. It had a lot of baggage as far as being kind of almost in a way a spiritual sequel to the first Suicide Squad movie. It had to actually carry a lot of the lore and canon of that DC universe And it managed to do all those things. It had so many characters. It actually had Harley Quinn, who I haven't been the biggest fan of in these movies, and it made all these things work really, really, really well. And I loved it. It was hilarious. It's pretty much it's basically this what the first movie should have been. So I enjoyed it. I had a blast with it. It was a lot of fun. I watched it several times. So yeah.
Honestly, at this point, I feel like Warner Brothers has said, "Please save us, James Gunn. Here's all of our money. Do what you got to do because we don't know how to make other good content."
Basically, and it's been working. I mean, even the show The Peacemaker has been pretty good too. Only 3 episodes in.
Gun.
They're just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. And when something sticks, they're gonna ride it like with the CW shows. They saw that shit stuck for a little bit, and they rode that shit off till the wheels came off. They're like, we need to make money, so we're gonna keep pumping these shows out until people stop watching them. Until they stop making money, we're gonna keep pumping them out. And I'm kind of scared that's what's gonna happen with the James Gunn stuff. Like, we're gonna get Peacemaker season 57 or get a Vigilante spinoff, and it's
they probably will be Vigilante.
We need you to lead to spin this. Like, we need you to run this for the next 14 years. You got it? Okay, have fun.
Right. Make it funny.
Here's the money. Here's the money.
I wonder if they will. I think hopefully they'll use the Marvel approach where it's a very limited series. Like, for example, like WandaVision was meant to be one season and that's it, one and done. I know Loki's getting 2, but most of them are getting this one and done. I'm hoping that Peacemaker's the same way. It's one and done, or at max 2 and done. They're not going to stretch it out forever. But
this is Warner Brothers we're talking about here, and we have 15 seasons of Supernatural. I'm just saying.
Granted, I will say a lot of those are good.
There were 11 seasons of Smallville.
Is it 11? It got to 11.
Hey,
I didn't know it was 11.
Yeah, not all. Trust me, I've been rewatching it. Not all of that is fire. Trust me there.
Oh, Smallville? No, it's not. No, it's not. The first 3 are great, but
I gotta rewatch those.
Yeah, Smallville. Jesus.
We got 7 seasons of Arrow. Before that final thing. How many seasons of the originals and then Vampire Diaries?
Originals.
They just pump pump up their content. It's like, just do more. Do another season. Do another season.
What's crazy?
The story could have really ended like 4 years ago. But
I agree.
What's tough is that all these shows have such like cult fan bases that will support. That's my main thing. Which I think I talked about you guys with it on like for this show in particular. If we were to get just like 50 people that watched every single episode and bought every single piece of merch and was involved with any and everything we dropped with this show, we keep pumping this shit out because we have that 50 people in that consistent, guaranteed support.
Right.
When these shows get that fan base, those fan bases ride or die for those shows.
Yes.
Like when Lucifer got dropped from was it? I think that was
no, it's Fox. Lucifer was Fox.
And when they got picked up by Netflix, boy, I know I became a little bit of a cult fan, not to an extreme portion, but I saw a million different blogs and Reddits and subreddits and fan pages where people like. They loved even episodes. I was like, they probably could have lived without that. People ate that shit up because that was something they got connected with heavily. So I'm not mad at Fox or CW for pumping out something if you have guaranteed support on it. Right. One, because it's guaranteed money. One is guaranteed. You want to turn down the guaranteed money?
I don't fault them for wanting money. I don't fault them. It's a business. I get that entirely. Otis gets that. He's a businessman himself. But it's the idea of you. Making money is not an excuse for dicking over quality. Like, you should still hold the standard you have set for your shows to begin with. You should keep it going. Breaking Bad was a great show for all 5 seasons, and they knew when to quit. They knew to keep the quality up. Eric Kripke, the creator of Supernatural, he left after season 5 because he originally had a vision for just those 5 seasons, which is why it was originally supposed to end with Sam,
the devil. And Sam and
hell, and Dean goes off, and that was supposed to be the end of it, and then they wanted to do more. So these creators and they themselves know where they want it to end. The problem is when Warner Brothers steps in and says, "No, these are too profitable now. We can't let it end," and they deliberately prolong it just to make more money, shamelessly. That's when it loses quality and integrity, artist integrity too. So
it's tough for me. It's tough.
Matrix 4.
Why'd you bring that up? See, here's the thing.
Cough, Spaceman, Jackson.
Oh. I'm about to just mute this man.
That's the end of the show. Good night, everybody. Can we kill the mic button? How's the mic button? So here, we can.
Yeah,
but that does dovetail nicely into our next topic, of course, which is favorite series, and I'll bring up.
We already know this one.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and knock mine out first. I'm on The Witcher. The second season of The Witcher is it for me. I'm sorry. I'm probably a little biased as I watched the first season like not a week before the second one came out. So I saw that whole story continuously through. Yeah. And I love it. I'm enthralled with it. I can't wait to see more of it. I need more of it. I'm a Henry Cavill fan now. I was not before. I mean, he was cool. He was cool. I mean, I didn't hate him. He was all right. But now I'm like, after seeing him as Geralt, I'm a fan.
No, he killed it.
That's when I think of Cavill, I think of Geralt. I don't think of Superman. No offense. Honestly, he did what he could. I don't fault him for that. But I do see him
he's responsible for the only good Superman movie ever, in my opinion. I mean,
it's my favorite one. Yeah, Man of Steel. But
I
do.
The only good one. Yeah, Man of Steel.
Let's not do that. Let's stop it.
I'm just throwing it out there.
But favorite series is The Witcher season 2 for Charlie. Yeah, I feel it was fun. I know, Charlie, have you played the games, any of the video games yet? Or
nope, I'm gonna start at some point though. I'm finishing my playthrough on like Assassin's Creed Origins. I replayed that because I bought it a long time ago and never beat it. When I finish that 100%, I'm gonna go start the 100%. The Witcher series.
God damn. Okay.
Games. It's like one of the last good AC games.
No, there's a lot of stuff you got to do to 100% those. But
Ghost of Tsushima is excellent. What are you talking about?
Shut the fuck up.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Continue.
Perfect. All I was gonna say was in The Witcher, the season 2 was more akin to the games that I played. So I really got into it. The first season was pretty good. I actually liked the first season, but the second season I like seeing Ciri is a much better character, I thought, in the second season. And I love seeing Ciri's relationship with Geralt in the second season as well. Also, I love Vesemir. Otis and I, one of our favorite anime films last year was The Witcher.
That almost won for me. That almost won my favorite movie last year.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great season of was the season of the Witch? No. What was the movie called? The Season of the Wolf.
Season of the Wolf.
Season of the Wolf, right? So it was cool.
You better talk about the Go if you bring up the characters now.
Yes, of course. It was a lot of fun watching Witcher season 2 and seeing those characters and seeing how they're represented in the big and seeing live action for the first time at relationships.
I really who's name?
Say your name, Ethan.
Oh, you mean Yennefer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And any other?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I definitely wanted to talk about that. Like the first season of The Witcher, I really enjoyed. But it really felt like Jordan before Pippin got there, because like Geralt carried all the weight and everybody else was just like there.
Yeah.
This season kind of felt like he finally got a Pippin and Ciri, and then everybody else was just there. Because like Yennefer is nice to look at, but I think she does a like horrific is like an understatement to like her portrayal of who Yennefer is.
Yes, this season especially, she didn't do anything. She didn't do anything.
It's like. You look at Yennefer in Witcher 3, I'm just like, who is this person? Who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? Like,
yeah, she's OP, borderline OP later on in this. Also, Triss was different, very representative.
Triss completely different. I'm just like,
very different.
Who are these characters?
Yeah.
That's Geralt was Jordan. He carried that.
Gordon's always Jordan.
And then Ciri, she was Pippin this year. So yeah,
Ciri, I completely agree.
I argue Ciri was Jordan this year. I ain't gonna lie. Ciri's Jordan. I ain't gonna lie. Geralt was kind of.
I wouldn't have even turned this on if it wasn't for Geralt. Honestly, I wouldn't have turned it on.
The funny thing is, it's interesting that I'm really glad I watched the show before I played the games, because I don't have any kind of like attachment to the game at all. It's like I'm looking at the characters from like, this is my first introduction to this version of them. And I will agree with you. Yennefer kind of like this season, they didn't really have her do as much. It was kind of like the subplot of like her, she's evil now, or she's stabbing niggas in the back. But that first season, it was like, it felt like the origin story of Yennefer more so than like Geralt being there, which I was okay with, because again, I told you guys I loved her backstory and her development in that first season.
She was a great.
Ciri was saying it's like reversed with Ciri in this season. Her development then was kind of like subpar, but like now it's fucking amazing. Like
she's the greatest.
Her determination, all the build her up as a strong character.
Well, also it was fun to see the three of them come together, because like you said, the first season much more focused on origins of Yennefer, and the second season focused more on the actual origins of like it's a powerhouse for Ciri. So seeing, and the Geralt was already kind of established, so seeing the three of them it ends with them as a family, which, spoiler alert, that's kind of how it's set up later on in the series, especially in the games. So that was a lot of fun. I thought it was always kind of cool. I know it was much more of a character study for Yennefer as far as her having to deal with the struggle of actually figuring out who she actually is outside of her magic and everything else. And so I appreciate those things, but it was just very different. It was a departure from what they established before, as far as her being an OP Megalord kind of thing.
I just want to know how much more people would like this show that didn't play the games. Like me, again, I probably like it a little bit more than you guys. I'm like,
I really enjoy the show.
I
just
loved it.
Yen specifically, I'm just like, who the fuck is this? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like with that point, I don't care because I don't know what you mean. I don't. That's what I'm saying. I probably that part is probably like taking the show from like a 10 to like a 9. Well, you probably got it at the 5, but like a 10 to a 9. But yeah, that's all I was saying with that one. As far as people not introduced this, because I'd feel tight if it was like the Assassin's Creed movie. People probably like that shit. I hope not.
Well, I don't think so. I don't. I think it's at 5% on Rotten Tomatoes or less. It's no one likes it. No one likes it.
Thank God. Anyway,
it's not doing well. So I'll do my favorite series. Now here's the thing. Y'all already know my favorite series is for the year. There's no point in me even saying it, but I'll go ahead and do it real quick. Arcane, motherfucker.
Oh shit! I forgot about Arcane. I thought
ours is the same. So yeah, well, I'll just piggyback off of E. Like Arcane is the best thing that came out last year.
Arcane is the best thing that came out last year. Also, it's a special place in our heart because it got us like 6,000 views on our channel.
Yeah, it's about to be at 6K pretty soon. It's like
6K.
5.7 something.
Yeah, so it's I have a very special place in my heart for Arcane. Charlie was just saying before, if you go in there with preconceived notions, if you play League of Legends, the show may hit you differently, but because I had no context at all for it, I went in there just enjoying a really good, well-made show. And I love the characters. Vi and Jinx Vi and Jinx are amazing. Obviously, Vi is I never thought it would happen where a character would come up there where they're neck and neck with my favorite character, Korra, from Legend of Korra, but she did. So it's I can't say enough good things about it. There's a whole review we did about it, so I'll leave it at that. Otis, and you got some things to say. So
I'm just continuing that. I can't think of too many bad things to say about Arcane, which is why it's my favorite. Because like usually I can break down. It's like, oh yeah, this was really good, but you know what I'm saying. But there aren't a lot of buts in Arcane. Like all the characters are pretty well developed. The story makes sense. The progression of the characters makes sense. Like it makes sense.
Right.
And you got a lot of good characters. So I mean, kudos to Arcane.
Who got more hands though, Korra or Jane or Vi? Just hands.
Well, Korra's beating that ass.
So, but you're saying just hands?
Just hands. No bending, hands. No metal hands. Just hands.
Vi. If it's just hands,
I don't know.
I'm still saying Korra. I'm still saying Korra there. Like,
Korra stronger and got packs more of a punch.
Yeah,
she's got 4 different styles of fight. Like, because the bending styles are literally martial arts styles. She's got 4 different martial arts styles ready for she's I get it.
Does it matter though if your one style is just that good?
Well, that's the thing. That's what we're getting into. Good one. Yeah, it's because obviously Vi is an extremely talented boxer. Like she's a natural talented boxer. You saw when she was a kid how she how she had to take on an entire army by herself on a bridge, and she did it. So there's no doubting her skills as a boxer. But you're right. Korra does know literally she mastered 4 different martial arts extensively. So I don't know. That'd be a good matchup right there. That's a really good matchup.
I give it to. We'll bring that over to. No, I'm saying only having one style is never that good. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. He's kind of like Jeet Kune Do, which is basically a compilation of all styles that Bruce Lee had. I see what he's saying, but yeah.
Again, that's
I'm definitely I'm on Kenichi. Come on, bro. You know.
Yeah, yes, of course, yes. Yeah. I know Kenichi's great. That's a good pull right there. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
But the way your eyes just lit up when you said that shit was hilarious. Like
it's a pretty dope show.
It's kind of a class. It's a little bit underrated.
It's Baki done right. Like it actually makes sense.
Wow.
That
I guess that's kind of King and Ashura. Never mind, but yeah, same difference.
Yeah, Ashura. Yeah, that's a great one too. We're getting all off topic, but yeah, I actually like Kenichi.
They know what it is. Yeah. You know what this show is. You know we get off topic on the show. That's what we do.
We get off topic a lot. Yeah.
Usually leads to better conversation. Moving on to the next thing we've already done. Let's get into games because we're moving on series. Let's get into games last year. I didn't play too many of them last year. Again, last year was obviously a tough year for a lot of people. I was also very poor last year, so I didn't afford a lot of new games. But the game I did play that I did kind of enjoy, for me personally, I enjoyed playing the fuck out of. Yo, is that this year?
That's
what it was last year.
2021. Yeah.
See, I was saving. I thought we were
Young
going to do it for
Justice
cartoons. I thought we were doing cartoons.
No, series. That was a series all under one.
So
like,
it's kind of like
anime
and
a different thing, though.
We're saying they're different. You can say whatever you like, though, but you can say I think Young Justice counts as a series.
No, that's what I'm saying. I thought we were going to do like a cartoon portion of like our favorite cartoons of the last year.
Are we doing that?
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Is there another cartoon worth mentioning from last year?
I haven't watched Young Justice. The only cartoons I watch are anime. If they count, this is anime. But is there another we can do a cartoon section.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Okay. I'm sorry. You were saying
with the games. I was going to go Outriders for. It's probably not the best one, but out of the ones I played last year, I enjoyed it the most just with the camaraderie. Well, yeah, for me, this 2K. I'm sorry. Last year for me, just. Out of the games I played last year, the ones I had to play with my homeboys, the time I spent on it.
Almost forgot Invincible existed.
You did.
If we're doing,
do we want to?
Yes.
Sorry.
You're right. I'm sorry.
No, you good. Last year is just about I hate to say it, but obviously 2K is like a bad game, but the time Otis, the amount of laughs and fun we get out of playing those games, win or lose, for hours, I'm like, it's hard to replace. And there wasn't really a lot of other games I really got that out of where we had fun playing it and also got the same social aspect at the same time.
That's fair, man.
Horrible fucking game on not a technical standpoint, but on a more marketing standpoint. But
right,
technical standpoint, you said no.
I can't say that. We played too much and had too much fun with it for it to be terrible on a technical standpoint.
And how much do we talk about if they would fix this thing? If you fix this thing, that's the technical aspect of it.
It's one or two things though. It's not like the entire. It's not like Cyberpunk. It's like one or two things.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's playable. Yeah, 2K22 is playable.
Usually we're talking about, it's the screen or this thing.
How about how long it takes us to load into a game all the time? Yeah. How many times we've had a full 5 and it took us like 45 minutes to get a game?
45 minutes? Goddamn. But let me ask you this, though. Did it ever crash?
I am not exaggerating. It's literally 45 minutes.
The reason it takes us 45 minutes to get a game going is because niggas be like, I'm going to be on at this time. And then 15 minutes later, hey, bro, I got to run to the store real quick. Typical 2K nigga shit. Like people, if you play 2K with your homies, you know what it is.
CPT, yeah.
We got a friend that's the Dark Knight Batman stand that will disappear in between games or before a game or after a game. Be like, nigga, I've been here the whole time. Nigga. But that's shit like that.
Trademark.
Yeah,
but no, I think I still all that being said, I think that NBA 2K2 still came out better than Avengers originally when it first came out and Cyberpunk when it first came out. It was a playable game. It didn't crash habitual line stepping crashing. So
you know what? I lied. What about are we gonna count? Can we count DLC? Because I'm gonna put Ghost.
If it's enough of a game, you can count DLC.
I'll throw like the Ghost DLC.
Yes, of course.
Right, that's the island and the online stuff they added in was amazing.
I agree.
And I feel like I had fun playing that multiplayer on a similar fashion as 2K.
Right. Yeah. Of course. Otis, it's your turn to go next, bro.
I'm gonna stick with what Charlie said initially, and the games that came out in 2022, I probably enjoyed Outriders the most. It's because I don't know, I got to the point in that game where I could play it so calmly, I can literally have a 4-hour conversation playing that game and never really notice it. It became this kind of mindless background, kind of like Warframe, where I can just get going to a strike. Yeah. I mean, not a strike, going to a survival and just sit there. But yeah, that Outriders, it started off pretty because there wasn't a whole lot of content there. Yeah. They added a few things in DLC, but
recently.
All right.
Yeah, it's my favorite because it was just a boring year for games this year. Honestly, for me at least,
it really was.
I think we're still recovering from COVID on that end.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Because this February, nigga,
it's too much coming out this month.
I know.
Obviously, there's some big things coming up. Elden Ring is my favorite one, but yeah. So my game, it's kind of a cheat, but it's a game I didn't get to play until 2021. Which is Demon's Souls, and it's the Demon's Souls remake on PS5. not the original one. So I hadn't, because I never played it before. I'm using that as my game of the year. It was a lot of fun. I know Otis has played it several times. It's a fantastic game, and seeing the updates they made to it, it just made me fall in love that much more with that kind of a series action RPG. So yeah, it's our game of the year.
Any other honorable mentions before we move on to the cartoons?
So yeah, here's a weird honorable mention. Two things. One is Back for Blood. I know that it wasn't like a great game, but again, as far as a gaming experience, and when that game first came out, it was smooth. It didn't have any problems. Didn't drop. The service didn't. I believe because Otis and I played it a couple of times together with people on different platforms altogether, on Xbox, on PC, and it seemed pretty smooth for the most part. It seemed pretty smooth. Yeah. It was a fun game. It was a fun social thing. It wasn't the best content, but it was still fun. So,
the issue with Back for Blood is the fact that they pushed a little bit of content that they never actually put into the game. There was supposed to be a mode where you were playing through the levels normally, but someone can come in as the zombies and attack you. That did not happen. That doesn't exist in the game. Instead, they put a versus mood in there that doesn't work properly. Like they just
that's true.
That's true. Horrible. Like it just don't do that. And then it's just certain aspects of that game, like with the difficulty was just it didn't make any sense. Like the first class went from too easy to entirely too hard, and then all the other one like I've watched like walkthroughs of people playing like the higher ones. It's absurd. Like there's no balance between their level progression, and with the way the game works, you have to play through a certain level to go to the next level. So like it's a game where like the level progression really does matter. Like how difficulty your difficulty setting matters a lot. And with it being such a huge disparity between one level to the next, it turned off a lot of fans there too. It was
it's definitely not. Yeah, it does function, but yeah, it definitely has lots of problems. I'll give you that 100%. 100%.
It's better than Cyberpunk, like.
Yes.
All right.
But in all fairness, a bag of ass is better than Cyberpunk. That game. Yeah. Am I wrong? That game.
You're not wrong. I didn't play it, so I'm not gonna say shit about it.
Pong works better than Cyberpunk. Like Pong, the first video game ever works better than
the OG
because it works.
Because it works. Yeah.
Really quickly before we get into the cartoons, I know somebody asked about comics in the chat. I've read some this year. I don't know how much y'all have read as far as comics. I know you read a lot of manga. But
I read more manga than.
My favorite comic probably just came out last year. Like my favorite one was the King in Black stuff. With Noel being introduced.
Oh, I did read that. Yeah.
The King in Black run was like incredible. It made me like Eddie Brock a lot more. For a while, I kind of preferred Flash Thompson Venom over Eddie Brock for a little bit because I enjoyed the kind of outer space travels he went in, being Agent Venom.
Agent Venom.
Mm-hmm. But the King of Black stuff was great because Noel, like when Noel ripped the Sentry in half, I was like, "Yo, what the fuck do they do now?" I don't like that was it. That's like when you bring a gun out and your gun just falls apart. And now you about to get fucked up. You're just like, well, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna get jumped, I guess.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with Noel. Like, I mean, I don't know how they're gonna.
He's dead.
Well, no, but no, I'm talking about as far as the movies. But back in the day, we're talking about if they're gonna bring him into the movies.
They're setting that up.
They're for sure setting that up. It's almost like blatant.
They're setting it up at the same time as the comics have been coming out.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm curious. I mean, I'm curious if they will bring him like into the MCU proper, like do that, or I'm curious.
Yeah, well, we know for sure that at least his sword, the Necro sword, is in MCU canon. Confirmed his gore is going to be in the Thor movie. So we know there's weapons there. We know the symbiotes are a hive mind, and we know there are like symbiotes in different universes and multiverses. Like so we know that's confirmed so far. Those are the two building blocks they're starting with. So we'll probably know more as like time goes on and how much they confirm on him. But I hope he comes because he looks bad. Only thing I'm worried about is like how CG he'll be because I kind of want to be prosthetic.
He'll probably be just like Thanos, my guess. Honestly,
that'd be better if they. I don't want him to do the way they did Venom in those Eddie Brock in those Tom Hardy movies where it's like rubber suit looking thing. I don't want that.
Well, he didn't even have a lot of symbiotes like on him. It's really just like an armor, and he has like an old man.
Yeah, but they're still they'll they can fuck things up.
All right, just make him look like a fucked up old man with long hair. Like it doesn't take a lot of like you give him the kind of hair that the prince was it now I can't remember the dude's name, but the prince from Hellboy 3. Like that white hair.
Oh yeah,
Narada. Kind of hair.
Narada, something like that.
Narada, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Nuada.
That's Nuada.
Give him that hair. Give him an old man like the Crypt Keeper face, and you got him. That's it. That's all you need. But I digress.
Yes, you do.
Oh shit. We both hit
it.
Sorry, Austin. Yeah, both hit it.
Yes.
Austin, I've told you about no. That's my roommate. Like I guess he's home. I don't know if he's on the other side.
But Noah's a very fairly recent big bad too.
Yeah,
that's 2021. That's 2021.
Yeah, so it's not. I understand if you don't not too familiar with him. If you haven't kept up with comics and stuff. Yeah,
that man keeps up with comics more than I do.
Oh, word. Okay.
His comic collection is ridiculous.
Right,
but getting into cartoons. Oh, do you have anything else? My bad. Oh, Ethan, I didn't even cut you off.
No, you're good. I said what I was gonna say.
My bad.
You're good.
Into the comics. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Invincible is very tough, but I gotta go Young Justice. I'm sorry. The development of characters that I'm already in love with Young Justice that I kind of grew up with from that show came out 2015 or some shit like that, or 26.
I want to say like 2012, 2013 because it had multiple years.
I'll look that up.
Because I was in middle school and high school when that show first started out, so I feel like I've grown up with these characters and seeing the arcs and how dark they've been able to make stuff, and the development isn't great for this. Like I think one of the best things for this show is that they've been able to take a darker turn and not have to keep things TV-14.
2010.
2010? I know something like that.
Nigga, I was 10 years old when the show came out.
So he's biased because nostalgia is a thing for Charlie. That's his thing. Yeah.
It is, but not even like if they were to just do what they did before, I'd see a point. But the shit that they're doing with this show now, it feels a lot more poetic. Maybe I'm gassing a lot more than it is.
No, you're not. Honestly, like we've talked about it. Young Justice is amazing. Like what they've been doing this season specifically is top tier. This is their best season, at least in my opinion.
Right.
They've killed it. But
I need to go back and watch.
I gotta give mine to Invincible because Invincible came out like it came literally. Omni-Man was different. Like that inspired a whole different wave of content. At least within the nerd space that I'm like akin to the most. Like Omni-Man put a whole different feel out there, and it I can't say that Young Justice has done anything that has affected the metaverse in that aspect. That's the only reason why I can say
fair.
that.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, as far as more memed or influential. Yeah, not yet. Right. I give you that. I mean, the thing is there. Sorry,
go ahead. My bad.
No, I was gonna say was that how it basically what it did was it kind of made us rethink how we would view superheroes or the superhero genre in some sense, which the comic book did back in the day too. But the idea of what if Superman, I know they did it with the boys, but what if Superman was essentially a megalomaniac, and would the world be able to stop it? And kind of seeing how that played out. Essentially, what they did with I forgot his name now, the dude that Walton Goggins voices. No. In Invincible. Essentially,
the demon dude. I can't remember his name.
Oh, you're talking about the
yes. They flipped it. Yeah, so it's basically as opposed to Superman being the good guy and then Lex Luthor being the bad guy. It's like what if Lex Luthor was actually on our side fighting against Superman, and seeing that fight with those two was a lot of fun.
Cecil to me is more like a Nick Fury than a Lex
Luthor. He's kind of a Nick Fury. He's more fair. He's more of a Nick Fury, but just the idea of someone that was trying to, if a mortal man was trying to, using his brains and abilities to try to take down a demigod on Earth, what would it be? So I liked how it kind of flipped the script in that way. It's subversion in that sense. It's a lot of fun.
So with this show in particular, I've been able to not break it down, but like getting a lot more insight on it from me. I went and read a lot of the comics after the show came out because I was kind of enthralled with it for a while, and then watched a lot of different videos of people kind of breaking down different things that the writer intended for it. I feel like part of the reason that this show was so great, obviously, it was a star-studded cast because you have people like Zazie Beetz and oh my god,
that's her best role to date to me, actually.
Possibly
about that.
J.K. Simmons did a great job.
J.K. Simmons, Stephen Yeun, Sandra Oh.
So like this, I feel like I'm not going to give it all to them, but a significant portion of this was the amazing voice acting that was part of this, and then part of it I feel like was that shock value factor in that first episode at the end of the first episode because for me, the show doesn't do anything crazy innovative. Because I think we've seen this story a lot in different anime and different other cartoon shows. We've seen a million different anti-heroes. I think in the way they had a new way of executing it in the goriness of it. Because one, on top of that, because we've seen Mark, we've seen him go through like the Naruto shit where he's getting his ass kicked over and over again, and then he's making progress. But I think in this show, it took it to a point where he's not just getting his ass kicked; he's getting his ass like obliterated throughout this whole show.
He was put in traction multiple times. The whole the meme
he
of
got
fight
his
back.
face used to murder an entire train. Okay,
That's a new one. I've never seen that before.
That was different.
I've never seen
like
that before.
Omni-Man was different.
I get that.
Omni-Man was something else. I would give it. He was something else altogether. Yeah,
and that's all the writers. That wasn't even in the comic. Like that whole train.
No, it wasn't.
That wasn't even in there. So
no, it was not.
And then me reading the comics, I don't know if you guys have read how much you guys have read on it, but Alan the Alien is going to be a big part going forward in the story in the comics.
Isn't that Seth Rogen?
Yeah, Seth Rogen's the orange guy.
In the future, he's strong. He's probably stronger than Omni-Man and people going. Like he's probably like up there.
Yeah, that's how his race goes.
Well, he's a creation. He's a lot created. Well, he's an alien. I think they created him in like a tank.
Yeah, they I think they built him specifically to fight the Viltrumites.
Yeah,
that's the point. He's meant to be an intergalactic cop in a way.
He's a super Saiyan, literally, like a super Saiyan in the way he progresses.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to see Seth Rogen do more shit, and I'm ready to see what they take from the comic, what they don't take, because the comic takes a very interesting turn and it's not the norm. The guy that created that did a really good job with that story. So, however you guys think the story's going to go, it's probably not going to go that way.
Well, I know it's not going. They specifically, Bob Kirkman, he's not. I don't think he's necessarily the showrunner on this, but he obviously was a creator of the comic book, and he's involved in some. They deliberately are taking some turns from the original source material. So
I want to see. There's some stuff I want to see though. It's just I'm not going to say what it is. I don't want to potentially spoil it, but there's some stuff that they do in the comic that's just amazing that I really want to see come over.
I'm sure they will do something.
I can't wait to see Battle Beast come back because that energy that he brought was like
oh yeah. I hope they make
Air Forces times 50. Like
whew. Yeah, he was insane. Because the thing is, it wasn't even no one even touched him. He was like, I'm bored. It was like he got beat or even put off. He's like, I'm just fucking bored. I'm leaving.
Heads up, in the comic, he's kind of soft. They kind of do him dirty later on because
I know how it goes. He fights somebody that he wasn't ready to fight.
Yeah, I'm just like, I hope they don't do that to him in the show. Like, they probably will.
I don't want him to get nerfed. I don't want to get anybody get nerfed though.
I need Mark to get his get back. Like let Mark fuck him up. Don't just like have him like when they introduce you like his like
little brother.
Fucking you've already seen Conquest, the bald white-headed Viltrumite. Yeah, that's his name's Conquest. Don't just like have him fight him off rip because he just don't do it to him. Like I want to see Mark get his get back. But that's the whole different thing. That's
what we get into the comic books.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna drop mine real quick. I'm gonna drop my favorite cartoon series, and then we'll move into the honorable mentions. I'm gonna go with What If, but I know that it wasn't like every episode wasn't the strongest, but I thought it was a really fun idea. Each episode was still fun to watch, and then the ultimate, like the way that they wrapped it all up as far as the season finales, two-parter. I thought that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that a lot. And it was cool to see the animation style. Like I'm talking about Arcane, how it was animated, how beautiful it looked. It was a different kind of style here as far as animation looked with What If, and that was fun to look at too. So I appreciate it on that level. I know Rick and Morty did all kinds of amazing stuff this season, and that's great. I know the Bad Batch they kind of fell off, but it started off pretty strong. But for me, What If was still consistently it was fun and different.
Can't forget season 4 of Castlevania because that was.
I forgot that dropped this shit.
Yeah. That was fire. That should be moved up higher, I guess. Yeah, maybe the number one. But
are we counting the cartoon? Would that fall in the anime category?
No.
So where does that fall? Anime or cartoon?
It's definitely cartoon. It's not anime. Yeah.
But I thought the same studio that was involved wasn't that Bones?
That wasn't Bones. I'm pretty sure the Castlevania is a completely domestic series.
The animation style looks very anime-ish to me.
No,
it's supposed to look like one, but I'm like,
you're right. I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah,
I can verify, but I'm pretty sure.
But it is the same studio that did the Witcher anime, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. That animation movie,
yeah.
While he's looking that up, are there any other honorable mentions in this category I want to bring up, or in any other? Because I think we're kind of at like the end portion of the categories. Unless you have any other categories you want to like throw on the table.
We can talk about the worst ones if you want.
We can get, I guess you have one loaded.
We need a whole
loaded,
different
ready to go.
episode for that though. That's between you alone. That's 30 minutes, and then us two combined.
We could do a whole other episode next week.
Powerhouse Animation Studios is in Austin, Texas.
Okay, so it's purely American based. Okay.
Yeah, that's Castlevania. That's Masters of the Universe.
That thing. Yeah, we didn't bring that up either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Masters of the Universe is pretty good.
I don't remember how I felt about that. I remember
season
2 was pretty nice.
So, yeah, I know. I haven't seen season 2. I know season 1 pissed off so many people. Season 1 was
I love that it pissed off people. I loved how much it pissed off people. It was amazing. Like kudos. But yeah, season 2 was nice.
I had to watch that. I haven't watched season 2.
But it's behind Castlevania. It's behind
everybody's behind Castlevania.
It's behind
Castlevania.
Young Justice. It's behind Invincible. It was good though.
It actually wasn't that bad of a year for animation, like for I guess more adult oriented animation. Yeah. You know, Rick and Morty.
I think this was a fun, like for animation in general. This was a stellar year.
Yeah.
A stellar year. That's because you could do so much more with it because people were more like you can't go out and see people in person, but you can get their voice recorded. So hey, let's make this.
Yes, right. And people were able to work. Because I have friends that work in Nickelodeon and Warner Brothers, and they were able to do it. They were able to work from home on creating these things too extensively. Right. So it was really cool. And you didn't even mention it didn't come out last year. Yes, it was Demon Slayer.
Love, Death, and Robots. Oh, Demon Slayer.
No, yeah, we didn't mention that.
It was Mugen Train.
That's what I meant. The Mugen Train. The Mugen Train come out. It came out in the States in 2021, right?
Yeah, it was like it was dope. I love that one.
It was really good.
I'm kind of irritated they kind of redid it again for the season.
But the thing is, Red Light District is so amazing, that I'm back to being okay with Demon Slayer because this arc right now that they are in Demon Slayer is
the entertainment arc.
It's going to the Red Light District. It's going to blow people's minds. Like these fights have been progressing heavily. They just had the episode that came out, I believe, either yesterday or today.
This week,
fire. Are any of these episodes going to keep? No. Just read the subtitles, bro. You were probably going to be a year behind on waiting for the subs. I ain't gonna hold you.
All the content about to come out within the next year from game, I'll be all right.
I'm gonna spoil it on purpose for you, just because you don't want to.
I'll forget it. I'm probably gonna forget it.
Well, I could super spoil it because I finished the manga. I know how the series ends.
Yeah, but now what you said though was that the manga wasn't as, like you said, Tanjiro especially wasn't as good in the manga as he's been in the show, the live action.
No. I said I think that Tanjiro. Yeah, I said that. You said that exactly right. I'm thinking backwards in my brain. Tanjiro is way better in the manga than he is in the anime. Like significantly better in the manga than he is in the anime.
You say he's better in that manga than he's in the anime. I think he's better in the anime than he's in the manga.
But the series itself is better in anime.
Oh, so the series is better animated than the okay.
Right. You know what? I'll watch this. I mean, my bad.
The animation because the thing is, I read a little bit of the manga, not much, but a little bit of it. And the thing is, because I watched the anime first and then tried to go back to the manga. It's like it doesn't compare. There's like it's the vibrancy. Like I love that style and everything. All the anime so much. It's like it doesn't compare. I can't. Right. It just doesn't work for me. Yeah.
The way he gassed in this, I'm gonna watch the sub. I'll watch the sub. I rarely notice gas shit ever. So I'll check that out.
It's great. I mean, it's really, really, really. It's you've seen the other stuff.
It's almost as good as Juju. Almost.
Yeah, but you gotta remember those came out the same. There was a time when they were both like back to back. There was like one you could watch them both. Like one came out Friday night, one came out Saturday night. It was like
it went Vinland Saga. Demon Slayer, and then Juju followed up at the end of 2020, and then the end of 2021.
That's crazy. What a matchup! Those were like Jesus Christ. Man. Vinland Saga, Vinland Saga.
I still gotta watch that.
You do.
That's not dubbed. Is that? I don't think that's dubbed anywhere though.
I don't think that's dubbed anywhere.
Yeah,
it's not.
Ascalad and Thorfinn.
I think
Thorfinn.
Yeah, if you get I'll send it to you, Charlie. Just watch the fight scene between Thorfinn and
Thorkel.
Or the big. What's the big dude's name?
Thorkel.
Yeah, Thorkel.
This Snorkel.
Thorkel.
It's like
Thor with Kale at the end.
Literally, that's what he basically
Dragon Ball Z head ass name is that.
You see him? He looks like a beefed up Super Saiyan, basically. He's awesome.
Yeah, like this is Vikings. Vinland Saga is a series about Vikings.
Oh, that makes more sense.
And all the people actually were, most of them like pretty much actually existed. Their portrayals are different, but they all existed too.
All right. To close out and we'll keep it. We'll hold it to one thing, so we don't run over like 35 minutes. Give me one thing you're looking forward to coming out this year, whether it's a game, movie, anime.
Bleach.
You gonna watch that, right?
Final season of Bleach is going to break the internet. I can almost guarantee you.
It's already broken my heart. It's already broken my. I have to watch that still.
He loves it so much.
I have to watch.
Have you even got to the Iran car arc yet?
I'm in episode 46 or something. I hate it, but yeah. It's I can't. It's
if you can say that after the Iran car arc, I will believe you. Right now,
I don't know. Like 46, that's pretty deep into the Rukia rescue arc. I don't know how you're hating it
because one thing is like the animation is poor. It's poor.
Yeah.
And the writing is like Jesus Christ. It reminds me of that old like 80s cartoon writing was like, hey, we should go do this. Okay, go. Yeah. Team is like this. So it is like nailed on a chalkboard.
No, that was 2002.
Really? Oh damn! I'll shut
the
anyway,
those things combined is like it's making it a slog. I owe it to Otis.
It's 20 years old at this point. I mean,
it's not new. It's not new.
What you Ethan? What you looking forward to? You looking forward to Bleach too, right?
Where's the gif of me saying let me come and see you, Charlie? But no, for 2022, honestly, I'm probably looking to Elden Ring the most. Obviously, everyone knows that Otis and I love playing those FromSoft games. We want to get Charlie into playing some more of them. I'm looking forward to playing Elden Ring with Otis.
One. Just play one. We got some people to play some Elden Ring with us too. I gotta introduce you to them, brother E.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely down for that.
We spent like all night talking to him. It was dope. You guys are dope.
I'm definitely down for that. Yeah. What about you, Otis? What are you looking for? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, so Dev, you're the last one. What's your
right? So for me, it's a game. I'm really, really looking forward to this. The second God of War.
More Ragnarok.
I'm like y'all don't understand.
Ragnarok.
It's the Ragnarok story that we were supposed to get.
Wow.
I'm not going to get into it again.
We can't.
I will literally hook the fuck out if I get into it again. Do not do that.
We can't get into it again. It was 40. That was a 45. You realize that us talking about that was longer than the review for what we were supposed to be reviewing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went through it. Like when I finished that first game, the music enthralled me. I watched the whole documentary about how they made it. I went down a rabbit hole. Yeah. With that game,
it's actually a great documentary.
I love that story so much. The environment, the atmosphere, the no loading screen, everything about that game was dope. So I'm really ready to see where they take the story in the second one.
It's fantastic. Also, spoiler alert: we're having someone come on to the show. We're interviewing someone that was involved with making God of War Ragnarok too. So we're gonna pick his brain about it.
I'm getting him to spoil some shit. No, I'm not playing.
I'm trying to spoil it, yeah.
I'm playing. He don't want to lose his job. I ain't gonna
yeah, he needs to keep his.
But yeah, that's been great. That's about it for everything we got through. You guys have anything else you wanna, as far as review awards go, or on that front?
No, not really.
You, Austin.
That's why I fuck with Austin.
That's your roommate, right?
Austin? Yeah, that's honestly like our first big fan. Like as soon as I moved in, he was like, "Can I share your podcast in my Discord server?" I was like, "Yeah, dog, for sure." So I love Austin. Austin's great dude.
Thank you, Austin, for checking us out. But I do have to do for one last thing. Of course, we got to do it as always. Right. You got to. I'm gonna keep it simple this time, gentlemen. Either or, of course, it's a hypothetical situation where I pose to my co-host or a guest. Today, it's our co-host, and have you give me the reason as to why they believe it. Sweet or savory?
Oh man, that's tough.
Savory, easy, not a question. Every time, savory. Always.
Every time, really?
Every time. Not even a question. It's just like
so. You don't do. Yeah. You're not a fan of desserts at all.
I eat them sometimes. Like I like. Yeah, but like if there's a choice, like if those are the two options, it's always savory.
Interesting.
Every time.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
I go sweet, man. And I say it. That's why sweet. Not only is it an amazing flavor, but there's a plentiful amount of haikus, metaphors, references, song lyrics, whatever about just the taste of sweet in general. Like that's how much it's loved universally as a human race. We love sweet shit. We love everything being sweet. That's how much. I ain't really heard no savory bars from anybody ever.
No, I don't even sure what a savory bar would be.
or
beef jerky?
savory haiku.
Like sugar literally makes your muscles weaker. Though.
It
Like,
yeah,
literally.
that's. I mean, you will get fat. That's the thing. If you're trying to lose weight, stop
yeah.
eating sugar. But to be
anything
happy.
worthwhile is gonna fuck with you a little bit. Everything in moderation.
Sure. I just wanted to. I'm really really glad that y'all proved my point in that y'all chose the opposite things. That's all I wanted. I'm glad that 2022 is starting off the same way I wanted to be. We're all we have very different opinions. We all come together as brothers to discuss them. So yeah.
Man, fuck this Nick. Now I'm playing. I don't really fuck with y'all like that. Nah. I love my brothers. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the
Thank you very much.
Future projects, working on some future stuff. We have the Time to Falco interviews being dropped. I think sometime this week. I forgot what I posted up for. Either earlier this next week, we have a really good interview with Mr. Time to Falco, former editor-in-chief of Marvel Studio.
Fantastic guy. He's a great
comic.
dude. Great dude.
A part of some of the best and most influential runs on comic history. Gave us some spoilers on upcoming Thor series worked on that's going to come out pretty soon. So great dude. I really enjoyed talking to him. And then we have the Ghost of Tsushima. I know it's probably gonna be a little behind because there's a lot of different kinks and things I gotta work out with that, getting it the way I want it. But that mini doc is gonna be out relatively soon by our standards. But we have a lot of stuff.
And then also the Moon Knight trailer, actual trailer reaction. We'll have that coming up too.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that.
Is that out already, or is that dropping soon?
I think it drops today.
The trailer came out earlier today.
Came out today, so we haven't watched it yet. We're gonna react.
It's only 6 o'clock. This daylight saving time is killing me because it feels like it's like 10 o'clock at night right now.
10 o'clock at night.
The view, like outside my windows, damn near pitch black outside.
A word. Oh,
yeah.
Like, for those who don't know, they're on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast. So for me, it's like birds are outside, singing, and girls are dancing around in booty shorts. But for them, it's.
I need to go to the West. No, I'm playing. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning into another episode of the Then and Now podcast.
Wait, before we go, I mean, I want to direct some people some places too. Make sure you check out the TBC podcast tomorrow at 7 p.m. on Bird Group Entertainment. Check out Bay Chain After Dark Tuesdays at 7 p.m. on Bird Group Entertainment. We got a lot of gaming content coming to you guys. We'll put that out more as we get to it. Shout out to Lady J on her podcast on Fridays at 7 p.m. We got a lot of content coming to you guys. The roundtable from Blurred Cartel that's coming to you on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. We got a lot of stuff coming. It's gonna be a big year for us.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of stuff happening. We got a lot of stuff's already happening. One last shameless plug: if you yourself are a writer, aspiring writer, or artiste, and you want someone to help you do that, hit me up. I am, in fact, a self-publishing writer, and I have a whole bunch of books. And come to our website, and I will gladly help you with consulting or getting your book made. My art team, I've already helped out Otis and some other friends of ours getting this done. That's the site right there. Thank you very much. Echelon G Novels.
Yeah, I totally forgot we were making this. I've been doing it so far behind in the back scenes, but this comic is coming out pretty soon. We're damn near done with it. Yeah, it'll be out in like a month or so. I think a month and a half. We'll have it done.
Yes, moving along.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks great. So shout out to Skaza. Thank you, Skaza Arts. Dude's done an amazing job with that. First comic project has been great. But yeah, that's I guess anything else we got to plug because we just
after 10 minutes of plus shameless plugs. 10 minutes of it.
Yeah, this has been another episode of the Then and Now podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for the exponential support from last year and the growth we had at the end of last year. And we can't wait to see where things go this year. We're on the road to 1,000 subs, y'all. Road to 1,000. 1K. So this has been another episode of the Then and Now podcast. We will see you guys next time.
You see, no one mentioned The Harder They Fall in their top movies, right?